How's everyone? This is Shao Trainer 1030, and today I thought I would do something different, and that is a movie review on a brand new film that's out in theaters by the time current this video. If you can already tell already about the t-shirt here, I got back from seeing Pokemon Detective Pikachu. This film is directed by Rob Linderman, the cast Ryan Reynolds, and I can listen on and on. I'm going to be giving my thoughts on the film. Certain part in this video, I'll get into the spoiler part, which I'll be sure to let you guys know. Before I get into it, I do want to quickly mention that this will be a second video I'll be uploading for today. The reason why I'm uploading two videos in one day is because if you watched my previous one, I've been wanting to do a movie review on Detective Pikachu since it is Pokemon related and my channel mostly has Pokemon content. Hope that you all are okay with two videos one day and do enjoy them. Alright, so now getting back to topic of today's video. To start off with, what are my thoughts on the film? I really enjoyed the film. The humor was pretty good. What made me really enjoy the film a lot more was being with my sibling and his friend, which they're younger than me, by the way. And I say that because I like that they get to enjoy the moment like I did when I was growing up with Pokemon. The film is about Tim, who is on a detective case looking for his missing father, and he has his partner, Detective Pikachu, who is helping him solve these mysteries. They do go through a lot of stuff, though, which I'm not going to get into that because that will be explained at the spoiler part. Now, the cast in the film, they were okay-ish. Sure, there are few parts in the film that made me smirk a bit. It was a little bit funny, but then other parts, like I can understand that the younger audiences will be think it's funny and stuff. But like I said, personally for me, there were most of the parts I didn't think it was funny, but at the same time, I can understand it being funny. Mewtwo plays an important role in this movie, which that'll be explained in the spoiler part. What's interesting me in this film is that it gets you hooked into solving a mystery. Like you're thinking of like, who did this? What does lead towards? All that kind of stuff. You do learn later on of who the main villain is in this movie, which I'm not going to get into that because, once again, that will be explained in the spoiler section. Alright, now, I can understand most people's perspective that the problem with the film is that the Pokemon look too furry and weird looking and all that kind of stuff there. But you guys have to give credit to the director and the editors, all that kind of stuff. They tried their best to think of what Pokemon could they look like in real life, which I'm honestly okay with that. There was nothing wrong with the Pokemon. I mean, the only problem with the film I can say is that there is one specific Pokemon in there, which I'm not going to get into that one because that will explain in the spoiler section. And the other thing is that there were certain points that it was pretty slow, but then starts picking up like near the end of the movie. Now, if I have to rate for this movie, I would give it a 7 out of 10. Reason is because it is an enjoyable movie. If you're like a Pokemon fan, you will like this film. If not, then it'll mostly be like a 6 out of 10, and it'll be more confusing for you, all that kind of stuff here. Okay, so now getting into the spoiler section. Now, if you don't want to hear any spoilers, be sure to click off of it because there is a lot to cover. So we're going to get into it. Get into 3, 2, 1. Okay, where do we start? Well, let's go from the beginning. The film starts off at this laboratory where you see Mewtwo in some capsule, and he says a similar line like from Mewtwo Strikes Back. It's exactly what you expect. He breaks out of it and just gets out. And surprisingly, he starts chasing this car, which we don't know who is inside of it and why Mewtwo is chasing this car here. The film makes you think that it attacked a car, but that gets explained later in the film. We get to Tim with his friend where they're plan to catch the Cubone because to have Tim get his very first Pokemon partner, but he explained to his friend and his other friends that he has no interest in having a partner. Even though he did at first when he was little, but then he got older, he didn't really care about it. So he took his friend's advice and went ahead and tried to catch the Cubone. And unfortunately, it did not go well according to plan because the Cubone broke out and started attacking him. And while him and his friend were in some town, he gets a phone call, but we don't know who it is. He got told that his father was killed in an accident. He goes to Brime City, I believe that's the name of it. You guys can go wrong or not. Anyways, he goes into some a police station, and he meets with this guy who has a Snubble, which Snubble's growing a lot in this movie, which looked like he was gonna bite someone. And he gets this apartment stuff where he can go into his father's place. He goes there and he looks in the letters and he runs into this news porter who's a girl and she has a Psyduck and ask him a bunch of million questions and he did not even know about it because he has no information of where his father is. He goes into the apartment and it's nice that you get to see him reflect on his childhood where he grew up there because he mostly was raised with his grandmother because he did not like his father because of the mistakes he made, and his father's been trying his best to have his son give him a second chance and do better for him. He gave him tickets to some location. I don't know where that is though, which that would have been nice if they explained that part there. And he does hear something weird from some outside of the office, and you see, of course, Detective Pikachu. And somehow he starts understanding what Detective Pikachu is saying, which that gets later explained in the movie. Of course, they're talking about some stuff, and out of nowhere, Apon comes in and starts attacking. Which the reason why is because of this R serum, which Tim accidentally released while he opened it while he was discovering in his father's office, which it caused the Apoms go berserk. And it's somehow after a couple of minutes they just end up going back to normal, which it seemed like the serum only lasts for like a couple minutes. I don't know the exact timeline here, but I can agree with some people that it's pretty creepy of seeing them go berserk. So after Tim and Detective Pikachu get out of safety department and go in the streets, they get into some marketplace, and he starts telling people, "Hey, can you understand Pikachu?" And of course, like from the trailer, we heard this girl say, "Oh, Pika Pika," where people cannot understand Pikachu, but Tim and the other Pokemon can understand him. All right, now they get into this Mr. Mime. It was of course a little silly here though, where Mr. Mime was familiar with the Pikachu because he kind of knew what happened with Tim's father, but not really well though. So they decided to go into some stadium place, which apparently, from Detective Pikachu's perspective, that it's actually illegal to do a battle over there. You do see Gengar defeat the Blastoise, and of course this guy comes out with a Charizard, and he's like, "I challenge your Detective Pikachu into a battle." And what happens next? Pikachu gets into a battle with Charizard, but it is in Berserk because of what the guy put in the serum. Things don't go well according to plan though, because something happens to him where the serum gets accidentally released, and all the Pokemon in the arena starts going berserk, start attacking people, and doing all crazy stuff. And after the Charizard goes back to normal, the Pikachu decided to throw the Magikarp. It's like, oh, it'll evolve if it attacks or something like that. And of course, it failed miserably. And then, like a few seconds later, you see Gyarados coming out of nowhere. And you see Charizard like crawl in the corner because it's pretty scared of a Gyarados, which you can honestly tell you should be scared of Gyarados because once Magikarp goes to Gyarados 10, you should be worried about it. And after Tim and Pikachu are blasted out of the place there, they get arrested, and then they talk to this guy here, and of course the police and all that kind of stuff still believe that Tim's father was killed off in an accident. So they go into some valley. I don't know exactly where though. And Tim and Pikachu were talking to each other, and they decided to agree with each other to help out with Pikachu's past of helping him remember this kind of stuff. That this one girl comes up and she's asked Tim and Pikachu to come with her. So they go into some big building in some office. You see Eevee there, and then like a few seconds later, it evolves into Flareon. This guy named Mark. I'm not gonna say the last name because it'll be hard to pronounce it. Anyways, he explains to Tim about shows his hologram of what really happened in the accident. Shows him a Mewtwo, and show him like what he did to Tim's father. And Mark asked him, like, that this is your mission to find Mewtwo, and you'll be able to find your father. So Tim and Pikachu agree with each other to go on a mission to find his Mewtwo and hopefully find out what happened to Tim's father. They go into some bar place where there's reporters there. Her and him agree with each other where they figured out of where this secret laboratory was at. So they go to the location, which apparently is off limits. And while they're inside, though, they find some Greninjas, which look weird, and then you also see Tortillas. Tim and Pikachu are in the exact same location where Mewtwo broke out. You do learn a little bit about Mewtwo, about why they created Mewtwo, and all kind of stuff. So then they went to look for a reporter, and unfortunately, she's all taken up by the Greninjas because some mystery guy let him out. They get chased by the Greninjas, and of course, Psyduck is going all crazy. Starts using some attack that knocked off the Greninjas. And out of nowhere, you see the ground start to like rise up, and you're trying to think of yourself, wow, Psyduck is actually that powerful. But then later you learn that the Torturas actually have the bigger version of themselves, which is like, I didn't know the Torterra can go that big, which it does understand that they're the continent Pokemon. Detective Pikachu does get knocked out. The Tim and asked for this Bulbasaur to come help, but this reporter said that the Bulbasaur can't understand you. But Tim made a really good point that Tim can understand his feelings. So Bulbasaur agreed to have Tim and Pikachu go follow them to this certain location where the reporter has to stay behind, and she told Tim to wait for him at the car. Tim follows the Bulbasaurs and also Morales. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it right. They get into some certain rock, and then you hear some voice, and out of nowhere you see Mewtwo. Tim starts freaking out because he's like, "Oh, it's Mewtwo, the bad guy. Oh no, what am I supposed to do?" He thinks that Mewtwo is going to hurt Pikachu, but suddenly just heals him. It returns back to store. He's all fully healthy and stuff like that. Tim then questions Mewtwo of what have you done with my father. He shows him this vision where he transferred the mind of his father to the Pikachu. But then something happened to Mewtwo where it ends up being electrocuted because of some one guy. He's taken hostage, and Tim decided to go find the Mewtwo. So the reporters started to do some stuff. You know what reporters do, that they wanted to get this news out to some people. Detective Pikachu went his own way because he's worried about hurting Tim, which you don't see Pikachu with him when he goes into the exact same building where he met Mark. There was a point in the film where Detective Pikachu starts singing the original Pokemon song, which I thought was a pretty nice flashback over there. He then realized that there was a Greninja shooting stars, and he's like, wait a minute. Greninja shooting stars, that leads towards, and he surprised realized that Mark is the bad guy of the film. So he starts looking for Tim, and he's hoping not too late, but then you see Tim go into some room, and guess what? Mark is there, and he activates some machine to have Mewtwo come up in a container. He put this thing on him, and he activates it, and he transfers his mind to Mewtwo because Knowing that Mewtwo is a very powerful Pokemon, he treats it as like a weapon. And it felt like it was kind of weird seeing Mewtwo talk, even though it was Mark's voice. He used some attack to blow away Tam. He breaks out the window, starts going down, starts using his special move that transfers the people into Pokemon, and of course activating the serums that are in the balloons to have the Pokemon go into Berserk. Pikachu runs into this Psyduck and tells him to go into some building. But he decided to face off against Mewtwo, and you don't see much of him facing Mewtwo. So Tim opens this like locker because he kept banging like while Pikachu and Mewtwo are fighting each other, and it's some guy, exact same guy which he saw before, and he was confused a bit, and he turned and that guy says the guy looked at the corner, and it turns into some different person, and then back into Ditto. I thought it was kind of weird of seeing Tim face against a Ditto because you don't see that very often though. But it was neat that you could see Ditto in real life. Ditto was actually pretty strong and had a big advantage against Tim because it looked like it was going to kill Tim. And some guy decided to whack Ditto off the building. And of course, the Ditto comes back as like Braviary and into the Buffalo Pokemon. I don't remember the name of it though. It was about to kill Tim because it turned into a Charizard, and Tim used some Arceum on the Ditto, and it turned out that Ditto went back to his normal form. And I don't know if Ditto was killed or anything. I'm not really sure. Getting back into Pikachu and Mewtwo, it looked like that Mewtwo was going to kill the Pikachu, but he said it was only I was not meant to beat you. I was meant to distract you, which that was the whole plan of it, was for Tim to remove the headset from Mark, so that way the mind of Mark gets out of Mewtwo and go back to his original body. The dead Pikachu starts falling off, and you thought he was going to get killed out, but Mewtwo used his psychic powers to save him. And Tim goes on the ground, and of course, there's some rejoice over there. Tim asks his Mewtwo to redo all the mistakes he's done. He did that. All the people came out of the Pokemon. Everything goes back to normal. Of course, the Arceums all vanish. He then says to Tim that there is one thing that remains, and he decided to use his second power to separate Pikachu and Tim's father. You see this big flash here, and you see Tim's in at some bench, and he turns and guess what? You see Tim's father, and it is Ryan Reynolds with the Pikachu, which that's a time when you don't hear it talk, you hear it say Pika Pika. Tim's father gives him the exact ticket like he would have taken him to. Tim decided like, no, I want to stay with my father a lot more, and Tim's father is like he would really like to spend time more with his son. And I thought it was so emotional, really nice to see them together. So they see some stuff, and pretty much that's the whole film. I thought, but like I said already, I thought it's pretty interesting that it gets you involved in the detective moment. There were a few funny parts in the movie, and I know you guys will enjoy the movie when you go see it if you are a Pokemon fan. That's pretty much all I got to cover for today's video. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on the film here. Did you like it? Not like it? Are you planning to see it? Let me know. That would be appreciated. Hope you did enjoy today's video. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Check my channel, subscribe bell for more gameplay videos. And I will see you all in the next video.